for me, man. I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I wasn't because I was like, at least safety, we could potentially be drafting one. And we could legitimately have any of these guys available too. It's just based on where they're going to be going.
We talked about Paris Ford a little bit.
Whereas with wide receiver, to me, I was like, I loved watching them. It was exciting.
You're bummed out.
But I was like, we're not touching any of these guys. We're not even gonna have a chance to get any of these guys either. But it's just like, yeah, we're not messing with this. But that was the thing. That's the only reason why I was a little bit more down on that. Whereas like, if it's a position that pertains, because like I would much rather watch wide receiver highlights than tight end highlights.
Sure.
But I was way more juiced about the tight ends because it was like, yo,
if we get this guy.
We could get this guy. Or we need this guy. We probably will. We're thinking about it, right? We talked about Tommy Trump. We talked about Pat Fryer, but with these guys, it's like, as hype as I was about Kadarius Toney, you think we're going to take Kadarius Toney at pick 24? Because he definitely ain't going to be there at pick 25. I mean, at pick 55. You know what I mean? You think if Rashad Bateman sitting on the board, we're going to grab him at 24? Like that, I'm just like, this is why I don't window shop. I don't want a window shop because I'm looking at something that I can't have. It's no fun. Yeah. I had this debate with my wife the other day.
Yeah, if we didn't bring back Juju, though, it'd kind of be
a mix.
Different,
maybe, right? But it's not. And I don't like the window shop. I only want to look where I'm buying. It's same. People, they tell me, my wife and my mom, they was getting on me because they're like, sometimes like we just look at cars or we just look at houses. I'm like, why are you doing that? I mean, you don't like what you got? No, we do, but you just never know what you might see. I'm like, I'm only looking at mine. But then it was like that whole debate of, all right, that is how people operate. Whereas for me, I'm just like, if I can't get one of these guys, if I know we're not even in the market, why am I looking over here?
Sure, that's a fair point.
But for conversation purposes, we're going to go ahead and have these rankings. So before we get our list started, I'm going to give the people a head start. Make sure you drop your top fives in the comment section, man. Drop your top 5 wide receivers. And from here, we shall roll, man. So are you ready, baby?
I might have a hot take on this one.
Hot take it up then, man. Hot take it up.
All right, we doing 5 then?
Yes. And actually, I'll start first. Because, No, I started first last time, so you go first this time. Yeah, you go with your 5. Yeah, you go with your number 5 first.
Actually, I know I say I have a hot take, but I'm also still going back and forth on some of these because these are some really good receivers.
You are the most cold hot take person out right now, man.
Back-to-back receiver classes have been unreal, in my opinion.
You talk about the depth in this class? Yeah. Oh my! I'm interested to see. 2 years from now, I want to see which class was better professionally. Like to start out, last year's class or this year's class is coming in because they both got dogs.
Yeah,
like legit dogs, man.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. All right, so number 5, I got Kadarius Toney.
Mm-hmm.
The playmaking. I mean, I was thinking Elijah Moore, maybe throw him in the mix, but dude, I can't deny Toney's playmaking. It's so good. I mean, and I've even seen on some of these short routes that he's running, they're really good routes. They're nice cuts. They're making defenders look foolish.
Yeah.
And then he's got the speed. He could take the top off the defense. You could do reverses. I'm trying to think of a comp.
Am I just Tavon Austin? I thought.
Am I gonna say Percy Harvin? Is that too easy because of Florida?
No, so I like.
I like his cuts, man.
I like the Percy comp, but I thought more Tavon just because of the. I mean, he's built similar to Percy as well. But I just think his game, it reminds me more in terms of how he cuts. Reminds me more of like Tavon. I hate
Tavon Austin in the NFL though.
Well, yeah, but we're talking. I mean, Percy during the NFL. I mean, he flashed.
He was good though, man.
No.
He got hurt.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So we can't act as if Percy had this long, dominant career when realistically, when he was healthy, dominant, yes. But for how long he played, how often was he out there? That's the difference. Whereas with Tavon is out there. I don't think that Tavon's come close. No, he's the returner for the Cowboys the past 2 years.
Man.
Absolutely. Listen, me and my boys, every time we see a Tavon site, we're like, bro, Tavon's still in the league collecting. He's still doing his thing. It's crazy. And because I was always mad because I'm a Percy guy. Percy's from the hometown.
Yeah.
But people up north, they love Tavon. They were like, oh, he's better than Percy. And we're like, get out of here. Not even close.
There's no way.
But you look at the longevity, and it's like, okay, well, this guy had the brighter flame, right? It was crazy, but it was short-lived because of the injuries, the migraines, the hips, the off-field or whatever was going on in Seattle. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Whereas with Tavon, it's like Tavon has never come close to this height that Percy's had, but he's been doing it longer.
He's still in the league.
He's still in the league, bro. He's still the return man right now, bro.
All right. For me, that's probably the best I could say. Like I said, I'm not the
man.
biggest fan of Austin in the NFL for whatever reason. I just don't think he lived up to that, especially with the Rams. Like, he was supposed to be really good.
Well, because of how he looked coming out of West Virginia. But once again, when we talk about the comps, don't think comp of this has to be what his career was at the NFL level. Think about Tavon coming out at WVU when he came out of there. We weren't thinking of him of, oh, man, this dude, he's just a returner at best. It's like, yo, this can be a legit game changer right here. This is a guy
and at that point, was that when Wes Walker was going off? So you're thinking, like, if we could get a dude like this, he's even more athletic than Wes Walker.
Exactly.
This could, take things to the next level. But, yeah, that's what I like Toney, just to play. I mean, the missed tackles and just how he can make dudes miss. Bro. Like, I don't think it's a fluke. Like, almost, how we compared Etienne to Kamara, I almost thought that with Toney. But it feels... It looks even better with Toney, where like he's almost like kind of aggressive with some of these break tackles.
No, seriously, man.
Like some of it is where he's just like, how it seems so flawless, but at the same time, I think he's a little bit more punishing from that department.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. His make you miss ability, man, is crazy. Like the dude can ball. I'm gonna get on him though, because he's a little bit on, a little bit further up. But I got you though. We get to him. We get to him.
Okay.
But for me, I started out. I was torn, man. Obviously, I thought about, was it Elijah Moore? I thought about Terrence Marshall out of LSU and Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. Like, I was kind of torn between all of those guys at the 5th spot. But ultimately, I went with Rashad because I feel like his size, number one, he's 6'2", 210. I love big guys that can move. Combat catch guy, high points the ball. His catch radius is filthy, bro.
The one-handed catches and shit.
Like, I love that about him. And he's fast enough that he can pull away. Meaning, hey, he can take a 10-yard in, and if that safety is late or he has a bad angle, he can take it to the house. I love that about him. Now, obviously, this year, it was a little wacky. Caught COVID. Was opt-out at first, came back. So all of that kind of played into that thing. But to me, man, I think that this is a guy that he's going to come and he's wide receiver 1. He's fine because of the size. And that's why, I mean, all these guys we're talking about, I'm pretty sure we can go 7 deep if we wanted to in the first round. Legitimately could do that. That's, we're going to be splitting hairs. But I went with Rashad, and those to me why I put him at 5 instead of Terrence Marshall Jr. out of LSU. To me, I just thought with Terrence, he kind of reminds me of just like, Jamar Chase light, Justin Jefferson light. Still a beast, still going to be a first round, still going to be dominant, but he's the lighter version of them. And now, if I would have seen him in a different uniform and not with the LSU, I probably wouldn't have thought of him like that. But seeing him in that same uniform and knowing the 2 other guys that I watched back-to-back years is like, those guys are freaky. You're just a freak. They freaky. So that's why it's like, all right, I'm going to knock you off a little bit. Whereas if you would have switched Bateman and Marshall, right? If Rashad was playing with LSU and Terrence was playing with Minnesota, I would have Terrence on this list because I wouldn't have been able to see 2 other dogs that were on the field with you at the same time that had you not. You weren't even robbing.
Too many mind games.
You were Alfred. You was coming off the back with the trade. Here you go, Master Bruce. Like, that's what he was. So to me, I'm just like, I'm sure he's gonna evolve and be the main guy wherever he goes. He obviously showed a lot of that this year because Jamar Chase opted out. But still, it's just like, those guys, seeing them.
You just don't think he's gonna be as good as them,
right? Yeah. And that's the only thing.
Okay,
still gonna be a beast though.
No love for Diami Brown from USC, dude. What, you don't like him?
Do you talk about
I got him at number 4, dude.
Oh,
I don't know, man. He looks like an all-around receiver.
Maybe that's your hot take. That was the hot take, man.
I'm not even done with it, dude. I'm not even done with the hot takes, man.
I feel like the hot take to me. God, dog.
Bro, I don't know, man. I think he's a really good all-around receiver from what I'm looking. The speed, the combat catching, too. Like, honestly, I was thinking between him and Bateman for either. Well, it was those 3. It was Toney, Bateman, and then Brown for my last 2 spots at 4 and 5. And even actually Elijah Moore. So I was just going back and forth.
I see somewhere Elijah's like the 2.
I know. I liked him too, dude.
Top 2, top 3.
I'm not going to lie. He reminded me of AB a little bit. I don't know if it was the high white socks and the shoes, but he had some really nice routes, and then he could take it to the house. He would just beat defenders.
Yep.
I don't want to go completely there, but still, he was making me think that.
He could ball.
So those two dudes were definitely in the mix for my 4 and 5, but there was something about Brown's game that I just liked a little bit more. I don't know if he's maybe a little more dynamic than Bateman, if that's what it was. Because I think Bateman had the more explosive combat catches, in my opinion, for sure. But there was just something about Brown's game that I thought he'd be the better all-around receiver from a route running standpoint, and then also maybe take it to the house ability that he had. Yep. That was just my take, though.
I like that take. I'm with it, man.
Yeah,
I'm definitely with that.
We'll see, man. I got him in my top 4.
I like that. I like that.
And he's got the production too.
He definitely does. That's
now I don't know if you want to knock maybe the ACC, but
I mean, you can make a case.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I get it. Maybe if someone wants to knock that against him, but
kind of that's how I feel when we start talking USC or anybody in the Pac-12. I'm just like,
I get it.
But teach his own
for sure.
But for me, so you had at 5 you went Toney, at 4 you went
Brown.
Okay, at 4 you went Brown. So for me at 4 I went with Kadarius Toney right here.
Sure.
I mean everything you said. He's shifty as heck, cat quick, elite, make you miss ability. Like people will say he's raw as a route runner, but raw in the sense of if you're putting him out there as a number 1 or a number 2 and asking him to run those routes, yes, he's going to be raw, right?
Corners and
but
stuff.
In terms of his slot route running, man, you're going to be.
He's making dudes look foolish.
Yeah, no, like seriously, I saw him, man. I turned the first play on. I thought he was going to break my man's leg, and then I'm just going through and I'm looking. I'm like, oh, who's this? Oh, that's Nick Bo. Oh, that's this guy. Oh, he's supposed to be a first round. He's supposed to be a second round. I'm like, he does that. Like. Guys just look lost versus him because of his start-stop ability. And it's funny to me, when you watch him on tape, he at times looks small, but you're like, no, this dude, he got good size on him.
He does.
So you don't have to worry about, is he going to be able to last and take these shots? To me, I think that he is your starting slot. I think he's a situational number 2 early on. That's how I view him right now, just because, like I said, he still has to really get refined in terms of the route running, because once again, at the NFL level, everybody's going to be a great athlete. So even though he's making guys look crazy like that right now, at the NFL level, we catch up to that. The NFL level is more guys in pursuit. It's a lot just better talent around the defenders out there. So you have to improve on that because, I mean, we've seen great athletes. Reggie Bush, prime example, one of the best collegiate athletes we saw, make everybody miss. But at the NFL level, it was a little bit different because now, hey, you're not the only guy that runs 4.3 out here. We all fast. You're not the only guy with good hips. We all got good hips. So that's the part that's going to be interesting just to see, can he do that? But as a slot, bro.
Right off the bat.
As a slot off the bat, man, I think he cooks any of them. But I think that he can develop into a legit outside. Think about Tyreek Hill, right? When Tyreek first came in the league, you knew he was going to be a return man. But he was what? A slot receiver in a situation we're going to see you on a vertical. Now, he's a legit, they keep him out there and he runs routes for them. He sets up stuff. He can do the exact same, maybe not to that same extent because obviously I don't think he's as fast as Tyreek, but he's still a guy that he can develop potentially into those type of things, into that type of role.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, and before we get to our number 3s, let me look at the list because we've had the people in the chat, man, they coming through. Shout out to y'all. Anytime we ask and y'all deliver, we appreciate y'all. So we make sure we go, tip our caps to y'all, make sure we read your names off here. So we have Tyler LaQuatra. Hope I didn't butcher your last name. All right, at 5, before we get to his 5, he has sleepers. Sleepers is Tutu, Atwell, Nico Collins, and DeMonte, what is it? Coxie, right?
Who?
Is it DeMonte? I think he said.
I have no clue.
Yeah, I would say I don't know how to say his last name. But his top 5, he goes with Elijah Moore, Rashad Bateman, Jalen Waddle. Then he goes with Smith, and then Jamar Chase at 1. Okay. Then let's see who else is on our list. Joey went with Rondell Moore at 5, Waddle at 4, Bateman at 3. Then he goes Devontae Smith at 2 and Jamar Chase at 1. I like that. Austin says that Jalen Waddle reminds him of Pittsburgh's Antonio Brown.
Dude.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that's seen it. I'm glad. I'm just glad. All right. Let's see what else we have. Austin goes Kadarius Toney at 5, Rashad Bateman at 4, Devontae Smith at 3, Jamar Chase at 2, Jalen Waddle at 1.
Okay.
Then let's see. Ian Rippey At 5, he goes with Toney. At 4, he has Smith. At 3, Jamar Chase. At 2, Jalen Waddle. And at 1, Rashad Bateman.
What?
All right. Then let's see this one. I like the diversity a little bit.
I do too. Yeah,
I like this Ultimate Elite 11 says Damani Brown at 5, Elijah Moore at 4. Then he goes Jamar Chase at 3, Devontae Smith at 2, and then Jalen Waddle at 1. So we're getting a little combination of Waddle, Smith, Chase consistently in those top 3. And then we got Big Kel 6. He went with Powell at 5, Toney at 4, Smith at 3, Waddle, and then Chase at 1. Trying to see if anyone else has anything crazy. Oh, here we go right here. This one from Brandy Lewis. She went with Rashad Bateman at 5.
Okay.
Jalen Waddle at 4.
Whoa.
Jamar Chase at 3. Goes with Moore at 2, and then Smith at 1.
Elijah Moore too.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I like the diversity.
He's
baby.
Good. Yeah, I like
the diversity.
He could. He could be too.
I like it. Hey, man. I like that a lot. Y'all keep y'all list coming. We're going to get back to some more of these. All right, so we're on 3 now. So who is your number 3?
Wow. I like all 3 of these guys, dude. I really do. This one sucks.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just that I don't have a comp really for him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put Jamar Chase at 3.
Okay.
And I feel bad about it because he legitimately might have the most upside out of all these dudes.
Easily, yeah.
I don't know what it is. I can't hold the season being out against him. I really can't.
I don't think
I don't want to do that.
But
I don't know.
That.
I just think I'm more high on Smith and Waddle. Maybe I feel like they're a little bit more known in terms of the comps that I'm thinking of in my mind. Whereas with Chase, dude, actually, this is why I think maybe he should be number 1 or has the most upside. You're seeing these combat catches like Mike Evans, but then he's got the speed. What was it, like a 4.3 or something speed? Just completely crazy. So I probably should have him number 1, but like I'm not thinking of an exact comp because he doesn't have. It doesn't seem like he's too tall. What's his height?
6'1".
Yeah,
it's 6'1", 200 pounds. Like
it's not like he's crazy tall or anything, but so he has like the combat catches like Des Bryant, but then he could just blow by you too.
Yeah, like he flies out there, bro.
So I'm almost talking myself into putting him in.
I mean, that's what it sounds like, but I'm gonna let you keep going though, man.
I'm gonna keep him at 3 though.
All right, go for it,
I'm
man.
high on these other discs.
I'm with it, baby. I'm with it.
All right, who do you got at 3?
For me at number 3, I went with Devontae Smith. I love his game. I just hate his size. He's 6'1", 175. Electric. He has great lateral movement. We know he can go to the house. My biggest concern, though, 6'1", 175, can you hold up as my number 1 guy? We've seen AB do it. AB was a little bit thicker, though. And obviously, AB wasn't day 1 that either. AB had some years in the NFL before he became that. That's my only thing with Devontae. I still feel like he's going to be a beast. I just think that at 6'1", 175, even Steve Smith, you think about him as a number 1 smaller receiver, he still was thicker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, you're going to be facing some long arm, big body corners out there. If you can consistently make these guys miss, it's not an issue. But I just know at this level, these guys, like a Jalen Ramsey, for example, that Jalen's not going to be scared of, Devontae because he has that lateral. Because he's like, I can move with you. And I'm long. And I'm fast just like you. That's the part. So now, can you combat catch to that level, right? Because we've seen AB. AB, man, even though he doesn't have the biggest catch radius, if the ball is in his vicinity, he's coming down with it. And those are the things that really separated AB compared to the other guys. It wasn't that AB was going to outrun you or was going to just cook you, which he could do. But the thing that we loved about AB was he's tiny, but he goes and gets that rock. Can he do that? I don't know. We know he could do it at Alabama. But can you do it at the NFL level? So that's the only thing in terms of why I have him at 3. I tell you, I love size. I want a guy that, for example, a Devontae Smith, even AB to a certain extent. Think about when the field gets condensed. It's a lot harder for his impact to be felt versus a Mike Evans, versus a Julio, versus a DeAndre Hopkins. It doesn't matter where you're at. They can stretch the field, but then in the red zone, I can just throw it up to you. I don't have to have the most accurate quarterback. Think, man, you can if Landry Jones is out here throwing to DeAndre Hopkins, you think he got to be accurate? Man, just throw that fade ball up there. He gonna make it work. But when it's a smaller receiver, you got to actually put it there. Now it's a lot more dependent on that quarterback. Now it's a lot more dependent on where you're getting drafted to, the fit. You know what I mean? Whereas a guy like Jamar, a guy like you said with Mike Evans, it doesn't matter who's back there. Mike Evans was Mike Evans if it was Jameis Winston throwing it or if it was Tom Brady throwing it, because of that ability to just, he's gonna just go up there and take it from you. And that was the only reason why I have him at 3, just the size element of it. But I love his game though, man. He's
technical,
nasty,
dude. Technical with the routes.
Absolutely,
gets
man.
open.
He's a beast, bro.
That's why I like him too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were comping the size element. I know you said AB. A lot of people were thinking Marvin Harrison.
Oh, I didn't even think about him. Yeah, he's another one.
But that's what I was thinking with it, where maybe that's why with Chase, why I had him at 3. But I actually, dude, I have to put him at 2. I think I have to.
You moving him back up?
I think I have to.
Okay.
Because you're right. The upside's like, it's there for Chase. I don't, not saying it's not there for Smith, but
like, do you think
Chase? Oh man, this is tough.
I guess my question to you is, best case for Devontae is what?
I think he could be like Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison, okay.
Marvin Harrison had Peyton Manning though too.
True.
Jamar Chase,
and even AB had been.
Jamar Chase, could he just be a beast whatever team he goes to?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna matter where he's at.
Devontae Smith, maybe just with how his game is, I think he would need, like if he was with Brady,
he's gonna cook.
Be crazy.
Yeah, if he was with Ben, he would cook. If he was with Russ, he would cook. But imagine if he's with Trubisky. If he's with Nick Foles, if he's, I'm trying to think who's, because they're all slotted to go in the top 5. Let's just see where he could potentially have went in the top 5. Okay, so Devontae, he could end up in Cincinnati. If he goes to Cincinnati with Joe Burrow, he's good. He's fine. Could go to Miami. How you feel about Tua? That's different. Could go to Detroit. How would you feel with where there's Jared Goff out there, whoever else? A little bit different. Think about Carolina as well. Sam Darnold, how confident are you there? Now, any of those guys in terms of Waddle or Smith could go to Denver. How do you feel about their quarterback situation? A lot of people aren't sold on that either. So that's my thing in terms of
what am I doing here, right? I just got to put Chase at 2. I'm doing that. I'm putting him at 2. I'm putting him at 2. I'm putting Smith at 3. So I guess I jumped the gun here. I got Waddle at 1.
Okay.
It's
all good, bro.
I'm big on Waddle.
It's all good, man.
All right, good.
So for me, I have Waddle at 2. I think he reminds me of Tyreek Hill.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he looks like Tyreek Hill, exactly like him, bro. 5'10", 182, an absolute blazer. Like, it's not even close. I don't care what he timed, because obviously he didn't run because he's coming off the injury and stuff like that, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was 4.2. Like, low 4.2, because the man, you watch him, he plays that speed. We talked about that, right, in terms of guys that test fast and guys play fast. Waddle pulls away from every single body. Now, I know some people might have Smith in front of him based on Smith's year this season, but for me, man, I'm like, these dudes are here at the same time. If Smith was that much better than Waddle at any point in time when Waddle was healthy, it would have been seen beforehand. Waddle was the guy. Waddle can do just certain things with that rock, is just different. And I love the fact he's short-handed. He can return punts. I mean, the dude is going to do his thing, but he's another guy, similar, but less concerned, right? Remember when I was saying with Devontae, I was like, with the size, can he hold up out there? I'm not worried about Jalen because of how fast he is. It's going to be the Tyreek Hill effect. Even though Tyreek early on couldn't run routes, the fact that he could run just flat by you, I mean, with Tyreek, it was almost like, bro, we don't need to put you as the point man on line scrimmage. Have you off the ball or in the slot, just motion into wherever you're going to go so that way they can't jam you and you're going to get a 5-yard running head start. You think Jalen Waddle with a 5-yard running head start, he's not going to cook these guys at this level? Whereas with Devontae's fast, but he's not Jalen Waddle fast. And that's, to me, the biggest difference in terms of why I have Waddle at 2, because it's like, bro, he has that gear that it doesn't matter what you're doing out there, man.
Bro, if he didn't get hurt, I mean, I think he'd be in the mix for the Heisman, actually.
No, I agree with you. I mean,
you look at these first 4 games, 134 yards, 142, crazy. 120, 161. Now, Smith's stats were good too, but in his first 2 games, he had 89 yards and 63 yards.
Yeah.
His third and fourth when he started putting up the 164, 167. But then when Waddle got hurt, I mean, that's when you're seeing these 200-yard games throughout the rest of the season. If Waddle's there, are those numbers going to him? I'm a big fan of his game, dude. Like you said, Tyreek Hill, but he looks more polished coming straight out.
He definitely does.
So that's what makes me excited. It's it's tough because now with Chase versus him, now those are my 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just want Tyreek Hill. I don't know if it's jealousy because the Chiefs have him, and I'm like, I would want this dude on the Steelers so bad. That would just be the burner that could take the top off the defense. And I know what Tyreek Hill brings to the game in terms of like a mismatch standpoint. Maybe that's it. That I'm just like, dude, I just want Waddle at 1 because it looks like he's a more polished Tyreek Hill. Maybe he has some of those AB elements that you talked about. Chase is damn good too. So I'm not gonna make this huge argument saying, oh man, Waddle should be 1 over Chase. I think it's just a me thing.
So for me, man, I just stick consistent to what I like in my players. I like big speed.
Sure.
Jamar Chase is a big, fast guy who can catch anything, can make you miss. Think about this. Justin Jefferson, we loved him this year, right? I'm a big fan of Justin. I love, not only can he catch a ball out, but he has style, he has flavor, he dances. Like, we love this type of stuff. And as good as Justin is,
he was number 2
Justin was robbing to Jamar. Just think about that. Terrence Marshall is another guy going to be a first-round pick, right? At worst, early second round. Remember, that was Alfred. He was bringing out the trade to Justin Jefferson, who was Robin, and then Robin was talking to who? Jamar Chase's Batman. The year off doesn't scare me at all. The year off, I'm like, good. Now I know he's extra healthy, and he's going to be super fired up, ready to go. This dude can run every route. He can run by you. He can jump over you. He can combat catch you. I mean, he would have been the number 1 receiver in the draft a year ago. Like, that's who he is. It was just the whole rule of, well, he has to sit in college another year. The same thing with Trevor Lawrence. That same type of concept. I don't care what Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith did this past season. I can't unsee that dominance. And then to know that the guy that was under you, Justin Jefferson, was able to do this, and we all felt it was very clear that you were the better player. Yeah, I'm not even. Yeah, it's a no-brainer for me, man. Jamar is the guy.
Do I just bump him from 3 to 1 right now?
I mean, you've already moved him up. That's the fun.
No, I'll stick with Waddle.
Because for me, it's like with Waddle, the biggest thing about him is what? The speed. But once again, what I said was when the field is condensed, now you're going to have to get a lot more creative, and now it depends more on coordinator. Can he scheme you to get open? With Jamar, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I could be backed up. I could be midfield. I can be red zone. He's always going to be active. He's always going to be in here. And if he's with an average quarterback, he's all pro. If he's with a great quarterback, he's a Hall of Famer. Like, that's what it's going to be for him. If he's with a guy who knows how to put that ball where it needs to be, knows how to operate, has a coordinator, it's the good situation, that perfect fit, yeah, he's going to set the league on fire. If it's the terrible situation, which it probably will be when you when you're going where you're going, it's like, all right,
he's still do pretty good. Yeah,
he's still gonna ball. Like, that's who he is, and that's for me like what I just love about big receivers like that. Like, and that's why I said at the beginning of the list, for me to have Toney, Smith, and Waddle all back to back, I'm like, y'all have to be kicking butt because y'all are tiny. But a guy like Jamar, bro,
I get it, dude.
Yeah,
I get it.
It doesn't matter where I'm at. Like,
I might be looking back on this and saying like, hey man, I should have just bumped him up. Officially, I should have bumped him up, but I'm gonna stick with Waddle. There's something about Waddle's game I just really like, man. I mean, I like Chase's. I mean, you heard me talk about it. I'm like, man. Why do I have him at 3? I'm explaining this.
Up. Think about you set your list at 3, and then you moved him up in the middle of your debate, and
what happened?
Honorable mention 1.
What happened is that I got excited about the Marvin Harrison comparison with Devonta Smith. I'm like, yeah, like the size is kind of an issue, but I really like his route running. It seems like he's always able to get open. So Marvin Harrison worked in the NFL. But then I thought of more. He had Peyton Manning, and then you're right. I just completely flipped on the spot. I think it was the whole comparison thing. Like, who do you compare Chase to right now? Like, there's not a guy that really comes to mind.
I think he's the combo of.
Yeah, he's combo.
Julio,
that's what I mean. It's a combo.
Hopkins, but when I'm thinking of who I'm comboing him with,
I know exactly. That's
these are arguably. You could make the case that they've been either the most dominant or in the conversation for most dominant throughout their career, which is crazy. So if you're torn between those two guys, and like I said, when we talk about this decade, this era of receivers, AB, Julio, Hopkins, people are making Michael Thomas. He's starting to get in that conversation consistently as well. But those are the guys that we talk about. And I feel like Jamar, you could take some of all those guys and put them in there. But then remember, he can fly. He's a blazer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I just put him at 1?
Hey man, it's your list. That's the beauty of it. It's your list. But we got some more lists coming up real quick. Some other people had chimed in. So
Sure.
before we're gonna see, because it could be everybody's all over the place at 1. So let's find out.
Some people did have Waddle.
Yeah. Let's see. So I stopped there. Okay, here we go.
Did you watch any of the Chase stuff? Burrow was underthrowing him a lot.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I was like,
he can fly. He can fly, bro.
I was like, Burrow, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this was the best quarterback in college this year. He had over 60 touchdowns. Like, what were you doing?
Yeah, man. Like, get it out there a little bit. But it was funny. I was watching Terrence Marshall tape and seeing the cat they got there throwing to him. I was like, ooh, this is a little different. I thought my man was going to throw his little arm out. He threw that joint once. I thought his whole body went into the throw, and it barely made it. I'm like, God, this is rough. But let's see. Raymond Castillo. He has Rashad Bateman at 4, Jalen Waddle at 3, Frank Darby at 2.
What?
And he didn't even get my 5th person. He has Jamar Chase at 1, but he left off the number 5. All right. Yeah, Frank Darby at 2. All right. Okay. All right. Tate Boys. He went with Marshall at 5, Waddle at 4, Bateman at 3, Smith at 2, and then Jamar Chase at 1. Yeah, Nick O'Connor has Chase at 1, Smith at 2, Waddle at 3, Bateman at 4, and Moore at 5. A lot of people get on the Moore thing though.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people are saying that you're tripping about not having Chase at 1. They saying he's easily the best receiver in the draft. Some people are saying that. It's
fair. It's fair.
Oh, I want to hear your thoughts on this. This is an interesting one. Joey 2 times. He goes. Moore at 6, Smith at 5.
Whoa.
Bateman at 4, Waddle at 3, Jamar Chase at 2, Kyle Pitts at 1. Now you know what I told you the other day when we talked about tight ends. I said,
yeah, I guess that's a question. Who would you take? Kyle Pitts
is
or
he
Chase?
really is he a tight end or is he a wide receiver? I say he reminds me of wide receiver. He's just a tight end by classification.
Who would you take? Actually, that's a good question. Like,
it's
who would you take? You need a receiver, you need an athlete, whatever it is. You're like the 5th or 6th team. Who would you take?
That's a really good question. For me, I'm going to go Jamar just because he's used to banging with like legit SEC number 1 corners. Whereas with Kyle, even though he was cooking the guys, he still was getting very good matchups because they're, just you can't put the number 1 corner on Kyle Pitts when you got Kadarius Toney out there as well. So certain things like that, we're going to just make it where, he's going to be open. And along with the fact that certain things that you can do with the tight ends alignment, you can just protect them from certain matchups. Whereas with Jamar, man, you know what Jamar's lining up. Jamar the one that you just say, go over there by yourself and you're always going to win. He's kind of like the AB guy. It don't matter AB, whatever side you want to go on this play, you go, we'll make everybody else right. Like that's why for me, I would go Jamar.
Interesting.
I like Kyle's game though, man.
Yeah, I might say Jamar too, but then it's like, why don't you have him as your number 1 receiver?
You are funny with that.
I like Waddle. I don't know, dude. I just really think he's gonna be awesome in the NFL.
I think he is too.
I think he could have. Like if he would have stayed healthy, he would have won the Heisman.
He would have. He was the better. Or at least he was better than Devontae Smith. We know this.
That's why I like him. That's why I like him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just maybe do I want to be hot take guy? I don't know. I like Waddle though.
Hey man, I'm with it, bro. Like I said, I would love Waddle if I didn't have Jamar. If Jamar was 5'10", if Jamar was 5'9", yeah, we go that way. Give me Waddle. But Jamar is not. He's he's got size.
I get it, dude. I get it.
I need
this isn't gonna be something I'm pounding my fist about because I really like Chase. You heard me talk about him.
No.
Something about Waddle's game.
Like
I'm just like I would really want Waddle on my NFL team, especially in today's NFL. You're right though, dude. You're right.
I mean, like legit. Think about that, man.